My name is Lisa St. Aubin. I'm the Director of Financial Services at Viega. I've worked for Viega for just over 12 years. We moved our corporate headquarters from Wichita, Kansas to Broomfield, Colorado. The people that didn't choose to move were a lot of the frontline folks, so we lost our entire AP team. And they, between them, had 15 years experience with the company, so they knew who to send an invoice to, how to code the invoices. There was not a lot of surprise. And we've discovered, hiring their replacements, even though they trained their replacements, there was a lot of that tribal knowledge you're never going to teach. And we did everything through email. We didn't have any other workflow solutions, and all of a sudden the email box is just getting fuller and fuller. They would come in every day, you could just see that stress and burden on them, like, oh, we're so far behind, we're never going to get caught up. And because we were so far back, we hired 2 temps, and all they did all day was sort the email. And still, we couldn't stay to caught up status. They felt like they couldn't get their job done. So yeah, it's very demoralizing. The point when we decided to implement, we were drowning. So really, honestly, the goal was to stop drowning. We knew we had to find something, so we looked at 3 different options. I let the team look at all the options and help make the decision because they're the ones working in it every day. So they liked the way Esker looked and felt compared to the other solutions. Felt like it was more user-friendly, more clerk-friendly, and that was what we went with. The features in Esker that made us really go with that decision, that probably primarily was the dashboard. The fact that we could create very individualized workflows. It was easy to set those up ourselves instead of having to have somebody develop them. The technology behind the program it was amazing to us. Just the fact that you can click on a field and all of a sudden it's populating, and then the next time you pull an invoice up from that company, it's pre-populating. When an invoice comes in, even from a brand new vendor, and it just picks up all the fields that it can, and they're right. That to me is amazing. The visibility alone is worth everything. That we were able to see who was holding us up. Is it the POs aren't being set up properly, or is it, is it us? Which is okay, sometimes it is us. The staff, it's an entirely different experience. Now they come in and they're real confident with how they're routing things, and and they can go in there and work on the system. We just recently hired 2 new specialists who are, they're new. They've never used Esker before, but yet they're actually processing more than the ones we had who were experienced, because we kind of pushed them in there and said, go figure it out. They're able to spend their time fixing any challenging invoices instead of having to have the supervisor or the manager do that. They can do it themselves, and really we'd rather have them do it because they have the knowledge of what's going on. Esker's benefited our vendors because we were so far behind before and we couldn't always answer the question of what was going on with the invoice. It's all right there in the system, so we can respond to them and say, here is what's gone on with your invoice, and here's why it's not paid, or yes, it was paid, and here's when we paid it. I am proud of the fact that by using Esker, we're moving into the front of the pack as far as innovation, instead of being the ones who are using old-fashioned techniques and using email. That's always been kind of my goal in all areas of my responsibility, is like, what can we find, what tool can we find? Use the experts when we can, because they're the experts. Let's stop trying to do this ourselves. Our experience with Esker is that it was life-changing for our department. It was a complete reversal of where we were and now we're where we need to be and where we can be to grow in the future.